Thank you for joining me today. I am going to be profiling my Gravekeepers deck as promised. This particular deck uses the Gravekeepers Supernaturalist fusion monster as the basis for it. As you can see here, I have the deck laid out in full, including the fusion deck. I will be going over the extra deck a little bit later, just so that you know. This particular deck is actually designed to use the extra deck as the Speed Duel deck. So it's a pretty cool little feature there that I've built into it. So without further ado, let's get down into the specifics, shall we? What we have here is the culmination of the main strategy of the Gravekeepers Supernaturalist deck. The first thing you want to have is Necro Valley on the field, Necro Valley Temple face down, and of course hidden temples of Necro Valley in your hand, as well as Gravekeepers Spiritualist and Gravekeepers Oracle in your hand. First thing you want to do is summon Gravekeepers Spiritualist to the field, activate its effect to fusion summon a Gravekeepers monster from your extra deck without the need for a fusion spell card, otherwise known as a contact fusion. So you ditch Gravekeepers Spiritualist and Gravekeepers Oracle to the graveyard to bring out Gravekeepers Supernaturalist. Gravekeepers Supernaturalist gains attack equal to the levels of the two monsters attributed for its summon times 100. So in this case, we're adding an additional 1400 to Gravekeepers Supernaturalist. In addition, it also gains an 500 from Necro Valley, bringing its total attack to 3900. At this time, you can safely activate Hidden Temples of Necro Valley, as well as Necro Valley Temple. Hidden Temples of Necro Valley requires a Gravekeepers monster and Necro Valley to be on the field. Gravekeepers Supernaturalist has a secondary effect of protecting itself from destruction, as well as Necro Valley from destruction, as long as both are on the field. By card effect, Gravekeepers Supernaturalist can still be attacked and destroyed by battle, just to be clear. That's where Necro Valley Temple comes into effect. It helps to protect Supernaturalist from battle by lowering the attack of all monsters on your opponent's side of the field by 500. Also, Hidden Temples of Necro Valley helps protect Gravekeeper Supernaturalist from attack by preventing any special summons. That way, the only way to actually get rid of Supernaturalist at this point would be to, say, tribute it for a kaiju. But kaiju decks are few and far between, so you really don't have to worry about that too much. Not to say that that isn't still a threat, it's just not a common threat. Anyway, getting back to the deck profile. So now that you have your Supernaturalist on the field, Hidden Temples of Necro Valley on the field, and Necro Valley Temple on the field, you are pretty much set. Gravekeeper Supernaturalist also has the effect of during the main phase, you can activate its effect, and during the end phase, you can add any Gravekeeper's monster or Necro Valley spell or trap card to your hand from your deck. This is a really handy little feature because say you don't have Hidden Temples of Necro Valley out yet, or say you don't have Necro Valley Temple out yet, you can use Supernaturalist to get these cards to your hand and get them on the field much quicker than relying on drawing them naturally. You can also use Supernaturalist effect to get out such cards as Imperial Tomb of Necrovalley, Necrovalley Throne, or pretty much any Gravekeepers monster that you want. So let's go into a little bit about the side deck. Here we have the side deck for the Gravekeepers deck. There's a little bit of tech in here with things like a Cat of Ill Omen, Gravekeeper's Vassal, and a few extra copies of some of the cards from the main deck, including Chief and Priestess and Spear Soldier. We also have a few extra things here tech-wise: Magicians Unite, Arcane Barrier, and the like, as well as an extra Gravekeeper Stele. What is unique about this side deck is, yes, it is 15 cards, but this deck, when combined with 5 additional cards from the main deck, becomes a Speed Duel deck. Specifically a Ishizu Ishtar Speed Duel deck. So let's take a look at that deck. Here we have the Gravekeepers Speed Duel deck. And as you can see, it is actually a 25 card deck, not a 20 card deck. I do apologize for misspeaking in the last scene when talking about the side deck and saying that only 5 cards were needed out of the main deck. It's actually 10 cards out of the main deck is needed to complete the Speed Duel deck. The cards that are slightly elevated from the rest of the deck, such as the 1 Assailant, Cannon Holder, Oracle, Priestess, the 2 Recruiters, the Shaman, the 1 Spear Soldier, Hidden Temples of Necrovalley, and the 1 Rite of Spirit, are all part of the Speed Duel deck. Also, I am using the Tomb of the Pharaoh skill card, simply because it is the closest to actual Necrovalley as you can get currently with Speed Duels until Konami decides to actually release Necrovalley as a Speed Duel spell card. Obviously, this deck has a slightly different premise to it. It doesn't necessarily have a specific goal in mind, except to bring out cards such as Oracle or Shaman. Of course, it does have a few features. It does have the Hidden Temple of Necrovalley. It does not have the Necrovalley Temple. Obviously, there is no Necrovalley card in the deck for Temple to be able to get out with its secondary effect. But you do still have quite a bit here. We have a few different cards than the main deck. For example, the Gravekeeper's Ambusher, and Gravekeeper's Vassal, and Cat of Ill Omen. Cat of Ill Omen is nice because it helps you get some of these trap cards out. Sebek's Blessing, I'm still working on that. I don't know if that's going to continue to be part of the deck or not. Magicians Unite and Arcane Barrier are definitely cards that I would like to keep in the deck for now, simply because they do offer some synergy with the fact that all of the Gravekeepers are spellcasters. Blast Held by a Tribute and the Eye of Truth obviously also are cards not found in the main deck for the Gravekeepers Supernaturalist deck. They are simply the cards that came with the original Ishizu Ishtar deck. This is slightly different than the standard Ishizu Ishtar deck in that I added a couple of cards in, the Ambushers and the like, and the Magicians Unite and the Arcane Barrier. But I'm very proud of this deck. I'm proud of the fact that this deck does not require anything else. It's a pretty tight deck list. If any of you have any suggestions on how I could make this deck better, both either the main deck or the Speed Duel deck, I'd be more than welcoming of any ideas. There are several ways that you can submit your suggestions. You can submit them through email. The email is hazardousverbal@gmail.com. You can check out my website where this video will be uploaded, as well as to YouTube and possibly even Twitch. I'm not sure yet. But the website is hazardousverbal.com. There you can navigate to the Contact Us page. There are several links to my social media accounts. There's also a contact form that you can fill out, and that'll get the message to me. Or if you would like to record a video, or in response to this, you can upload that to YouTube in response to this video, or you can record a voice message through Skype. The Skype ID is Ichimoto1, that's ICHIMOTO numeral 1. And if you do submit the suggestion via voice message through Skype, I'll make sure to play that on a future episode of my podcast. This video, of course, is loosely connected to my podcast, but is not actually going to be a part of my podcast because of the visual nature of the deck. I will be recording a separate deck profile for my podcast that will be audio only. So look forward to that. That should be up either today or tomorrow. I'm depending on how much of it I get done today. So again, thank you very much for watching, and happy dueling.